Hello and welcome to Leaving Footprints Worldwide. Look, we all love to travel, but sometimes the very act of us showing up while it's open ready to get our tourist on pisses people off. Today we're diving into the cities that aren't too fond of tourists and know why. Buckle up people, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Reykjavik, Iceland. A city that perfectly blends the old with the new, where modern architecture meets ancient Viking history. Land of glaciers and geysers where the Earth's raw power is on full display. Vikings and hordes of selfie stick-wielding tourists? Yes, you heard that right. Yeah, turns out even this Nordic paradise has a love-hate relationship with tourism. The influx of visitors has been both a blessing and a curse. Iceland's booming tourism industry, while a boon for the economy, has put a strain on the environment and the locals' patience. The natural beauty that draws people in is also at risk. Imagine living in a place where the northern lights are practically your backyard, and suddenly, it's selfie sticks and tour buses as far as the eye can see. It's a surreal experience. Icelanders are proud of their natural wonders, but they also want to preserve them for future generations. The balance is delicate. Reykjavik is starting to crack down with stricter regulations on tourist activities and promoting sustainable tourism practices. They're serious about protecting their homeland. They're not afraid to slap a hefty fine on anyone caught carving their initials into a 1,000-year-old glacier. Seriously, don't do that. Respect the land and its history. Ah, Venice. The floating city, the city of canals, the city of love, the city that's drowning under a tidal wave of tourists. Venice is unique, romantic, iconic. It's a bucket list destination for a reason, but imagine living there, navigating narrow streets packed with locals and tourists. The city's infrastructure, built centuries ago, wasn't designed for this kind of foot traffic. Venice is fighting back with a tourist tax, limiting the number of visitors and considering banning monstrous cruise ships. It's a delicate balancing act, trying to preserve the city's beauty and history while keeping the tourist dollars flowing. Can they pull it off? Only time will tell. Barcelona, Spain. A vibrant city pulsing with life, culture, and an undeniable energy. But behind the beauty and the buzz lies a city struggling with its own success. The influx of tourists has led to skyrocketing rents, pushing out long-time residents. Locals are feeling squeezed, their neighborhoods transformed into tourist playgrounds. The city is trying to find a balance, promoting sustainable tourism, cracking down on illegal rentals, and encouraging visitors to explore beyond the usual tourist traps. Can they appease the locals without alienating the tourists who keep the city's coffers full? It's a tough call. Amsterdam, the city of canals, bicycles and, well, you know, it's a city known for its liberal attitudes and anything-goes vibe. But even Amsterdam has its limits. The city center is overrun with tourists, many there to indulge in the city's famously relaxed drug laws. The crowds are overwhelming, the noise is constant, and the streets, well, let's just say they're not smelling their freshest. Amsterdam is trying to regain control, redirecting tourists to less crowded areas, cracking down on public nuisance offenses, and even considering moving the infamous red light district. Can they clean up their act without losing their soul? Stay tuned. Kyoto, Japan, a city that seamlessly blends the old with the new. The ancient capital, a city of temples and traditions, geishas and gardens. It's a place where history whispers through every street and alley, but even in this bastion of tranquility, the modern world is encroaching and it's brought tourists with it. The influx is changing the very fabric of Kyoto. The Japanese are incredibly hospitable people, but there's a certain etiquette, a respect for tradition that's paramount in Japanese culture. This respect is often overlooked by visitors. Kyoto is facing a cultural clash, as the influx of tourists threatens to overwhelm its traditional way of life. The streets are crowded, and the serenity is at risk. The city is fighting back, launching awareness campaigns to educate visitors on proper etiquette, hoping to instill a sense of respect and understanding. Limiting access to certain cultural sites, to protect them from being overrun and to preserve their sanctity. And encouraging tourists to experience the moment, to truly immerse themselves in the beauty and tranquility of Kyoto. Can Kyoto preserve its soul in the face of mass tourism? The challenge is immense, but the spirit of Kyoto is resilient. Dubrovnik, Croatia, a city that has captured the imagination of millions around the world. The Pearl of the Adriatic, a city of ancient walls, terracotta roofs and, Oh yeah, that little show called Game of Thrones. This picturesque city has become synonymous with the fantasy world of Westeros. Since the hit series used Dubrovnik as a filming location, this once tranquil city has been inundated with fans eager to walk in the footsteps of their favorite characters. The influx of tourists has transformed the cityscape. But here's the thing about Dubrovnik, it's tiny. Its charm lies in its compact historic layout. Its ancient walls, while beautiful, weren't built for this kind of human traffic. The narrow streets and historic sites are now often overcrowded. Dubrovnik is struggling to cope with its newfound fame, overrun with tourists, cruise ships disgorging thousands of visitors daily, and the infrastructure creaking under the strain. The city's resources are being stretched to their limits. The city is taking steps to address the problem, limiting the number of cruise ships allowed to dock, promoting sustainable tourism practices, and trying to diversify its appeal beyond the Game of Thrones craze. Efforts are being made to preserve the city's heritage. Santorini, Greece. The island of whitewashed houses, blue-domed churches, and those sunsets. Oh, those sunsets. But behind the postcard-worthy views lies a different story. One of overcrowding, environmental strain, and a growing sense of unease among the locals. Santorini is tiny, a volcanic speck in the Aegean Sea. Every year, millions of tourists descend upon its shores, eager to capture that perfect sunset selfie. The result? Overcrowding, sky-high prices, and a constant strain on the island's limited resources. The government has started to take notice, limiting the number of daily visitors, promoting sustainable tourism practices, and encouraging tourists to explore other, less crowded islands. But is it enough? So, are we the bad guys? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Leaving Footprints Worldwide. Travel, for all its wonders, can sometimes feel like a double-edged sword. We want to experience different cultures, see new places, but we also have a responsibility to do so in a way that's respectful and sustainable. Travel responsibly, tread lightly, and maybe, just maybe, we can all keep exploring this amazing planet without loving it to death. See you in the next adventure.